I'm here to talk about children addicted to video games. Based on the National Research Council and Institute of Medicine reported in 2009 that gathered findings from previous studies, it is estimated that 13 to 20% of children living in the United States, that's up to 1 out of 5 children, experience a mental disorder in a given year, and an estimated $247 billion is spent each year on childhood mental disorders. Because of the impact on children, families, and communities, children's mental disorders are a very important part of public health issues here in the United States. Whom do these children go to visit for these mental health issues? None other than psychologists. We have entrusted psychologists with our thoughts and mental challenges for over thousands of years in hopes and anticipation of astonishing results, only to find that not all psychologists are on our side or have our best interests in heart. In fact, Dr. Max Wachtel, who is a well-renowned psychologist himself and is known for his honest and blunt approach to advocating his findings, found out that researchers and psychologists work together with top gaming companies to ensure that developed games are designed to be hard to ignore or resist by buying and playing. A few techniques psychologists use to help gaming companies develop those blockbuster games are listed up on my first slide. A series of tasks that are easy to learn but difficult to master, an elaborate and exciting storyline. As you can see on the slide, the list goes on and on. Video gaming is now the world's largest entertaining medium. The United States government has even responded to the perceived threat of video game addiction by opening treatment centers such as an online Gamers Anonymous. Just to see how severe this potential threat is growing, I came across the study that Professor Anderson and Gentile from Iowa State University have proven. They found that the average daily video game play kids from ages 8 to 18 rose from 26 minutes per day in 1999 to almost 110 minutes, which is nearly 2 hours per day by 2090. The numbers are even higher for boys, 25% of whom play video games for 4 or more hours per day. In 2009, Douglas Gentile published a survey by himself of 18-year-olds, finding that 12% boys were addicted to video games, having at least 6 to 11 symptoms. These symptoms were similar to this. They've done these symptoms on a scale from a gambling addiction point of view that the DSM uses. DSM stands for Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Using the same criteria, only 3% of girls were video game addicts. These video addicts reported a dramatic erosion in study, homework, and school involvement, yet psychologists claim this correlation that they use is no proof that video games cause decline in academics. Perhaps boys who are not academic are attracted to video games as a consequence. I think not. The next slide shows the decretion from males getting their degrees of associates, bachelor's, master's, and doctorate degrees, and females are on the rise. I got this actually used for charts from a voiceformalestudents.com's website. Another study that I looked up, and it was more recent than this 2009, it was in 2013, estimated that an average gamer spends about 8 hours per week playing, and of those, 1 in 12 children have what to be considered an unhealthy addiction. It becomes a lifestyle more than just a hobby at that point. Nationwide surveys have revealed that there's a growing concern with quote-unquote problem video game playing or video game addiction. Dr. Wachtel still stated that one of the effects of someone that's addicted to playing video games is that their electrical brain patterns change even when the game is no longer being played, and it taxes on that individual's nervous system. Not only does it tax on the nervous system, it also affects the muscular, skeletal, visual, and contributes to obesity and and that information was from Wikipedia. In order to determine whether or not your child is addicted to video game playing, there are a few signs to watch out for, and this came from the site guides, and they are as follows. Feelings of restlessness or irritability when unable to play. Isolation. One of the main ones that I have picked up on, because I feel like one of my boys, they do this, is they are very excited about playing a game right after they just get done playing the game. So for their minds to continually be on game playing. And there's more to list here, as you can see. As I mentioned earlier in this presentation, one of the treatment centers that is readily available is the Online Gamers Anonymous. That is an American nonprofit organization formed in 2002. Off that website, it claims of several steps a parent can take to guide their children in the right direction for the right path. And they are: keep computers, smartphones, game consoles, all that out of the bedrooms and allow their use only in common areas such as living rooms and or kitchens. Have a night location for all electronics where your child can place those devices at a set time each night, especially during the week because of school. This means that sleep will not be interrupted by games, texting, temptation of getting into social media, or anything like that. Games should only be allowed after a child has been taking care of the responsibilities such as homework, chores, things like that. This next slide actually shows a breakdown of each age group. 0 to 2, obviously, they should not have any. Although I've seen parents, which thank God that it wasn't out when my kids were 2, but they hand them tablets all the time. So 0 to 9, 3 to 5, 1 hour, 6 to 12, 2 hours, 13 to 18, 2 hours. As you can see on this slide as well, 6 to 12 is not supposed to play any kind of violent video games at all, and that contributes to addiction right there with the MMO games. Number 4, don't let them play any more than 1 or 2 hours per day, especially during the school year. As this chart shows, make sure that the games are not the child's primary activity or form of entertainment. Games should be viewed as an earned privilege. Parents should always have final approval of any game that enters the home. This next slide, this is the actual entertainment software rating board for all movies and video games. And as a good parent knows, the ratings are helpful, but in addition, we really need to research the game intently and see how much of that sexual content, violence, and things that are in those games for our underage kids. It's not enough just to know that yes are being rated for the potential game purchase. One very helpful tool that I myself just found out about is that there is a parental control settings that are present on all modern game consoles. So we need to definitely use that and use it well. Last but surely not least is considering banning your children from all MMO games. Because these types of games, as I said earlier, are thought to have a much higher risk for addiction than the other games. In conclusion, it is up to us as parents to make sure we enforce and set boundaries for our children when it comes to any electronic usage whatsoever. We can literally create a monster if we don't and set them up for failure for the rest of their lives. If we don't take a stand for our children, no one else will, and then we can adhere to the fact that the blame is on us. Thank you for listening.